If you want to use one word to describe Elon Musk, some would say he's a genius. Some called him the devil. Others called him a bastard. But after reading Isaacson's Musk biography, I think the most apt word is madness. Jobs once said, "Only those are crazy enough. People who think they can change the world. To truly change the world." And Musk's madness, no doubt, it is shaking the pattern of the world step by step. Today we're going to talk about how crazy Musk really is. Where does Musk's madness come from? Perhaps the answer can be traced back to his family genes. Musk's maternal grandparents all are extremely crazy adventurers. In 1952, they flew a plane north from Africa, fly all the way to Scotland and Norway, 22,000 miles round trip. In 1954, they flew 30,000 miles, travel between Africa and Australia. Considered to be the only aircraft to fly a single engine. A private pilot who completes this flight. They hunt and feed in deserts and jungles. Go in search of the legendary Lost City. It was 8,000 miles from Cape Town to Algiers. Car rally. Beat the professional drivers of the Ford team. Win the championship. Musk in childhood. I have heard about many heroic deeds of my maternal grandparents, and watched countless of them. Slideshow material about jungle travel. The adventurous spirit of the grandparents. It also deeply affected his life. 1971 year. Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa. Here he was subjected to painful pain. It also taught him how to survive in pain. South Africa was marked by violence at that time. At school, Musk was the youngest in his class. The shortest student. He doesn't understand the sophistication of human feelings. The result is being bullied at school. He often gets beaten with a blue nose and swollen face. But these injuries he received at school follow the damage that his father, Elon Musk, inflicted on him. It's insignificant in comparison. Once, Musk's whole face was like a pig's head. Coming home from the hospital, his dad took a look and did not comfort him. Rather, they are on the side of the abuser. Scolded him severely. Musk recalls that I stood for an hour. He yelled at me. Call me an idiot. Say I'm good for nothing. For Musk Jr., this emotional trauma is more brutal than physical damage. Musk's father was a tyrant, often quarreled with his mother. In the end, the parents had to divorce. Because I was often beaten up at school. Later, Musk developed a skill. No matter how beaten he was, he can punch the bridge of the opponent's nose. He said if you can't hit the bridge of the opponent's nose, you don't have the right to survive. Childhood. Living in an environment of violence and conflict. It makes it difficult for Musk to build a sense of security. It also created his aggressive character in the future, and shaped his philosophy of life as suffering. Survival is fighting. Sometimes, he will even take the initiative to pursue the occurrence of confrontation. When life is calm, he had to do something. Let life dramatize conflict. Musk's first wife, Justin, said, "I think a man spent his childhood in South Africa like he did. You have to close your heart to others to some extent." Musk said as an adult, "You have Asperger's syndrome yourself. A type of autism. That's perhaps." It is also one of the reasons why he has not been normal since he was a child. When he was 3 years old, his mother sent Musk to kindergarten. But he had no friends in his class, because he is always immersed in his own world. The principal called his parents into his office. Say that we have reason to believe in the intellectual development of a dragon. Delayed parents are also in a difficult situation. Took him for a hearing test. Thought it was his ears that had a problem. So he took his tonsils off to increase his hearing. Actually, it's not a listening problem. But Musk has an unusually high level of concentration. Musk said from childhood, "If I'm going to think about some difficult questions, then all my sensory systems will shut down. I couldn't see or hear anything. I'm using my brain to do the calculations, rather than receiving information from the outside world." This, a character that is naturally easy to withdraw from the real world, makes Musk even more unable to make friends. He started from the day he went to school, began to become lonely and gloomy. And this pain has always been imprinted in the depths of his soul. In 2017, He recalled in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine. "When I was a kid, that's what I said. I've never actively sought solitude. I said I didn't want to be a lonely person. The real world is lonely." He simply had an entrance to another world to read. Entering puberty. In the beginning, he did this by reading the works of existentialist philosophers. Find out, like Nietzsche, Heidegger, and Schopenhauer. But these works turned his confusion into despair. Luckily, science fiction saved him. He rummaged through the school and the entire sci-fi area of the local library, then urged the librarian, "Hurry up and buy some more similar books on the shelves." Musk's favorite works include Robert Heinlein's Stern Moon, Asimov's Space Trilogy. These works, for him to build artificial intelligence and SpaceX in the future. It made a huge impact, and among them, the science fiction works that have the greatest influence on him. It's Douglas Adams' Milky Way Hitchhiker's Guide. This witty and humorous story, the lines soothed Musk's philosophical system, and in his unsmiling temperament, adds a touch of humor. He said the Milky Way Hitchhiker's Guide. "It helped me get rid of the pent-up emotions of existentialism. And then I quickly realized." He does it in a variety of subtle ways. It's amazingly fun. A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Milky Way. There are also video games that Musk later immersed himself in, and board game simulator games led him to be obsessed with a seductive idea all his life. We may just be some higher-order creatures. Chess pieces in a designed simulator. At the age of 11, Musk saw his first computer. It was in a shopping mall in Johannesburg. He was standing there, stared at him for a few minutes. He pestered his father to buy him a computer. Father objected, saying that children will only waste time on games. It didn't help him to learn engineering well. Therefore, Musk saved the money for odd jobs. "I bought a Comborta Fit 20 for myself. This computer comes with a tutorial on how to program in the basic language. The course lasts 60 hours. Musk finished it in 3 days. At the age of 13, Musk made a video game. The name is Blaster, and sold it to a computer magazine for $500. At the age of 17, after graduating from high school, Musk realized it was time to run away from his father. He traveled to Canada alone, borrowed to live in the house of a relative of the mother. Of course, Canada was just a springboard for him. The destination he really wanted to go to was the United States. In 1990, he entered Queen's University in Canada. In 1992, the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, a $14,000 scholarship for him, and a basket of student loans. He transferred there to start his junior year. He majored in physics. He thinks as an engineer, it is to go through the basic principles of physics, to solve everything. He also decided to pursue a double degree in business. He said, "I was worried if I didn't study business. I had to work for people who had studied business. My goal is rely on my intuition about physics to design the product, instead of working for a boss with a business background." When I graduated in 1995, Musk was recognized by Stanford University for materials science, admission to the Doctor of Philosophy program. But he dropped out of school 2 days later. Instead, he devoted himself to the internet business. Because at that time he found out there are only 3 things that really affect human society: internet, sustainable energy, and space travel. And the wave of the internet has arrived. If you wait until you graduate to enter the internet field, it may not be able to catch up. So he decided to start a business right away. Musk's first entrepreneurial project. It was founded with his younger brother Kimber. This is a newspaper publisher, a company that develops a network city guide. This includes services such as maps, navigation, and the Yellow Pages. The early days of entrepreneurship. Musk can't afford an apartment. Only offices can be rented. Sleep on the couch. Take a bath at the YMCA. Share a computer with your brother. In the end, Compaq acquired CPR for $307 million. Musk and younger brother in a ratio of 6-4. A 12% stake in them was allocated. Earnings, so 27-year-old Elon got $22 million. The younger brother received $15 million when the check is delivered to the apartment. Elon was surprised. He said my bank account assets were from $5,000. It became $22 million. The Musk brothers took $300,000 out of the proceeds. Gave it to the father. He gave $1 million to his mother. Elon bought a 1,800 square foot apartment. I also bought one for $1 million. Silver McLaren F1 sports car, which was the fastest production car at the time. It was also his most extravagant consumption up to that time. CNN reporters documented the scene. I expect to receive a car that I've just bought, which is called McLaren F1. There are 62 McLarens in the world, and I will own one of them. It's $1 million for a car. It's decadent. Back in '95 there weren't very many people on the internet, and certainly nobody was making any money at all. Most people thought the internet was gonna be a fad. Wow, I can't believe it's actually here. It's pretty wild, man. This is definitely very cool. I like it a lot. Congratulations. Just 3 years ago, I was showering in the Y and sleeping on the office floor. And now, obviously, I've got $1 million car. And quite a few creature comforts. It is a moment in my life. A young man who has had few friends since he was a child, become a tech upstart overnight. It quickly attracted the attention of the public. Realize the counterattack of life. Show off your wealth in front of the camera. There's nothing wrong with him. However, after earning the first pot of gold, Musk is not obsessed with this. Instead, continue to start new companies. Plunge into the next startup game. In 1999, he invested $12 million to start X.com. In his vision, it will be one that will meet all financial needs. One-stop shop. Banking, online payments, checks, credit cards, investments, and loans. At first, it was believed. X.com, the name sounds like a site. But Musk liked the name very much. It can be said that he has an obsession with the name X. Many years later, Musk bought Twitter and renamed him Nice. The space exploration company he founded is called SpaceX. The artificial intelligence company he founded is called SCI. Even he named his son X. X.com after its launch, because it allows people to transfer money quickly and easily. It quickly attracted 200,000 users. Soon, X.com and PayPal merged. At the beginning, Musk served as the new CEO, lead the company forward. But not for long. Musk's adventurous madness and a rough and rude style of doing things. Employees are dissatisfied, so the board kicked Musk out of the company. However, PayPal was soon acquired by Elba. A total of $1.5 billion was sold. Musk is the largest shareholder. More than $180 million in returns were obtained. This year, Musk was 30 years old. Musk, who was kicked out of PayPal, was not idle. Maybe it's because of the influence of the Milky Way, the impact of the Hitchhiker's Guide. He grew up. I've always wanted to do something in space. He felt that humans could not just stay on Earth. Humanity must be made multiplanetary. Otherwise, when might human civilization be destroyed? So he went to NASA. Search on NASA website. As a result, he found NASA simply does not have its own plans for a Mars landing. He felt incredible. At this time, in Musk's mind, a crazy idea came to mind. Colonize Mars. Let humanity build a transplanetary civilization. When he told his former colleagues at PayPal about the idea, the other party said, "Brother, you're crazy." After having this crazy idea, the first problem that Musk wants to solve, it's that he needs rockets. Where to get rockets? Rockets are quite expensive for this means of transport. Billions of properties are not said to be affordable. So he decided to go to Russia. See if there are any used rockets for sale. The Russians also thought he was crazy. A very outrageous price was offered. As a result, Musk hit a wall everywhere. Disappointed. When vomiting blood by the Russian popularity. On the return plane, he began to think calmly, applying his famous first principles to analyze the problem. Since it is impossible to buy a suitable rocket, then I'll make it myself. Aren't rockets expensive? Then bring down the cost of manufacturing. Musk invented an indicator. It's called the Idiot Index. What is the idiocy index? Is the price of the finished rocket compared to the price of his raw materials. What is the price of the finished product? What is the price of raw materials? This ratio is called the idiocy index. If a product has a high idiocy index, then it must be through planning. Design more efficient manufacturing techniques to drastically reduce its cost. Musk discovered the rocket's idiocy index is very high. He began to calculate the carbon fiber, the cost of metallic fuels and other materials. Discover using current manufacturing methods. The cost of the finished product, at least 50 times more than the cost of materials. If humans are going to Mars, it is necessary to radically improve the technology for creating rockets. Rely on second-hand rockets, especially second-hand rockets from Russia, unable to promote the development of space technology. So Musk decided to start his own rocket company. The idea is just crazy. Before that, no private company has dared to do that, because this kind of research is too expensive, and the risk of failure is terrible. At this time, his friends all urged him not to do it. A friend said, "Brother, pitted by the Russians, not represented. We're going to have to start a rocket launch company." This friend also made a paragraph. Wonderful video of the explosion of dozens of rockets. Show Musk. His friends around him were reminding him he's going to lose all his money. But this only strengthened Musk. Determination to start a business. Because he likes risk. Because he's a madman. He told the friend who had persuaded him, "You say that there is a high probability of failure. You want to convince me with this? That can't be helped. I'm in the middle of it. The most likely outcome. It's nothing more than that I'm going to break my family because of it. But do I have any other choice? Watching space exploration make no progress. We have to give it a try. Otherwise humanity will be trapped on Earth forever." May 2002. He founded SpaceX Technologies. A few months later, it was renamed SpaceX. It didn't go well for SpaceX at first. The rocket explodes as soon as it takes off. After blowing it up 3 times, there is no money. SpaceX and Musk are on the verge of bankruptcy. This time, the White Knight appeared. The co-founders of PayPal. That is, 8 years ago. Will Musk from the position of CEO. The group that was ousted from power. They brought in new money. Support Musk's return to space. Rocket. Although people don't like Musk's style of doing things, but for his ability and spirit of exploration, it's quite recognized. The 4th SpaceX launch was successful. That is, Falcon 1. It was the first in human history to be privately manufactured. A rocket that enters a predetermined orbit from the ground. He was also offered a contract by NASA. When he succeeded on that day, his rocket team had only 500 employees. And his rival Boeing, there are 50,000 people in the same sector. May 2020. A Falcon 9 rocket. Send 2 NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. It's ever. For the first time, a human being was sent into space by a private company. Musk's dream. It's about transplanting people to Mars. Now the one that flies to Mars is not called a Falcon, called Starship since 2015. SpaceX launches Starlink program. It is planned to launch a large number of low Earth orbit communications satellites. Satellite internet access for the world. February 22, 2018. SpaceX. 2 small experimental communications satellites were launched into orbit. This is where the Starlink project begins. October 22, 2019. Musk successfully passed Starlink. Send a message on Twitter. It also said that Starlink has been able to provide TNG internet services. Below. Let's talk about Musk's most profitable company. Tesla, though. Musk a long time ago. The idea of making an electric car was born. But at the beginning, Musk is just an investor in Tesla. At that time, Musk's main focus was on SpaceX. I don't want to run a Tesla. He only served as chairman of the board. In some key aspects of product design, he's also deeply involved. However, when the Tesla Roadster prototype was released, Musk finds himself stealing the limelight, the focus of news coverage. It all fell on the CEO of Tesla at the time, Martin Eberhard. In the media, Musk is just as Eberhard, one of the many investors that can be one, was taken a mouthful. Musk is in a hurry. To Tesla's VP of Communications. A sharply worded email was sent. He writes to date. My role in the company. Described only as an early investor. This formulation is infuriating. It's like Martin being called an early employee. My impact on Tesla vehicles. From the headlights to the body styling. From the door frame to the trunk. I have a strong interest in the electrification of transportation. 10 years before the birth of Tesla. In media reports. Martin is, of course, the central figure. Should be at the top of the list. But so far, an understatement of my position in the company. It's just too deceitful. Make somebody's blood boil. He added. He hoped that if it made sense. Talk to every major media outlet again. This is Musk's personality trait, which is extremely controlling. You have to be the leader. Characters, no one can steal his limelight. Finally, under the operation of a commotion, Eberhard stepped down. Musk has gone from an investor to a CEO. Led Tesla in stride. Musk is extremely controlling and perverted leadership styles. It is also reflected in the design of Tesla's factory. He divided the engineer's workstation next to the assembly line. Later, the designer was also moved. Let designers think like engineers. Vice versa. Musk puts his desk, also placed next to the assembly line. Put a pillow under the table. He brought the SpaceX experience to the table. Desperately improve production efficiency. When you're sleepy, sleep under the table. There is a problem on the production assembly line in this way. An engineer can be found at any time. The engineer will be able to find the designer. In order to achieve mass production of Tesla. At that time, the Fremont factory and Tesla factory were located. It's called hell. There are a lot of executives who have left. When you leave your job, these people also persuaded Musk. You should see a psychiatrist. Isaacson said in Musk's biography. Musk's management style is like this. He likes to start one hurricane after another. Get started today. One more deadline was announced. Usually this deadline is not only unrealistic, and it's unnecessary. Every time, he sounded the alarm, forcing everyone to conduct fire drills. This is a psychological trait of Musk. For employees, he exists like a devil. So, it doesn't matter if it's SpaceX or Tesla. Or is he in another company? Engineers will all go through the typical post-Musk anxiety disorder. But in the creativity of the enterprise, Musk keeps working miracles. January 2021. Tesla's stock price soared. Musk became the richest man in the world for the first time. Net worth is about $190 billion. As Tesla shares continue to rise, Musk's net worth, at one point, it exceeded $300 billion, making him the first person to reach this level of wealth. This year, Musk paid about $11 billion in taxes, become the most taxed person in history, in addition to SpaceX and Tesla. Musk also founded Solar City, a photovoltaic power generation company, Neuralink Brain-Computer Interface, Inc., and a company called Boredom, focus on high-speed tunnel development. At the same time, he is also one of the earliest founders of OpenAI. After the launch of OpenAI, he created his own SCI. In 2022, Musk's career is going well. Tesla's stock price soared. The market capitalization is more than the combined market value of the second to 10th largest automakers. SpaceX is also a good news. It was destined to be a brilliant year. As long as he cannot toss, let everyone have their place. But by Musk's nature, how could he not toss? Musk at this time is like a game addict. Obviously the customs have been cleared. But he was restless. I just won't let it go. At this time, he sold shares and realized about $10 billion. It's going to be fatal. He said I didn't want to leave my money in the bank. So I asked myself what product I liked. The answer is simple. That's Twitter. Then, he launched a new round of fighting. Continued buying of Twitter stock. On April 13th, Musk was on vacation in Vancouver. This evening, he's playing a game on his laptop. I played until 5:30 the next morning. After playing the game, he tweeted a tweet. I made an offer. His offer was $43 billion, $54.20 per share. After several twists and turns, He eventually won the battle. The final price was $44 billion. After the seizure of power, according to first principles, he overhauled Twitter, laid off 50% of Twitter's global staff and responsibility base, 90% of the employees in the construction of the facility. Many people wonder why Musk bought Twitter. After all, from a business point of view, it's not a good deal. However, for Musk, buying Twitter is more than just a business decision. It is a continuation of his personal experience and deep responses. In childhood, Musk was on the playground at school. I have been bullied and ostracized by my classmates. These experiences left a deep imprint on his heart. In Musk's biography, author Isaacson mentions, Musk sees Twitter as the ultimate playground for humanity. Now through the acquisition of Twitter, it was as if he had regained control of that childhood. A playground full of pain. This control. Perhaps it was a kind of compensation for what happened to him in the past. He wants to be in this playground. Ability to no longer be subject to the power of others, both in the online world and in reality. Facing injustice and bullying, he can have a voice. The acquisition of Twitter gave him a unique right. Let him regain control. The playground that had hit him hard. Give yourself the strength to face the world and injustice. In 2024, when the results of the U.S. presidential election are coming out one after another, Trump declared himself a brilliant victory. And to one, the one who helped him return to the highest position in the country. Special praise was expressed. The man he called a genius was Musk. In this election, Musk chose to be all in Trump. Cheer for the former president's return to the White House. And intriguingly, these two men were both extremely unstable in temperament. In the last few years, the relationship has not been so harmonious. Musk has said publicly, Trump is not fit to be president. Trump has relegated Musk to an artist. And now it has been renamed X. It seems to have become Trump in this election, the main battlefield of the Meghan movement. Musk made a big gamble, staking his reputation and resources. It turned out that this time he won the bet again. However, on the other side, Musk's transgender daughter, the 20-year-old Vivian, after Trump won the election, but vowed to leave the United States to express dissatisfaction with his father and the Trump administration. Vivian's original name was Severe Alexander Musk, the eldest son of Musk and his first wife. Vivian will turn 18 in 2022. Filed a petition with the Los Angeles Superior Court for a change of gender. At the same time, he severed ties with his father by changing his name. Musk has had 2 wives. There are 11 children who are announced to be alive. His first wife was Justin, whom he met in college. Wilson, after the birth of their first child. He died soon after. Later, through artificial insemination, she gave birth to 5 more children. His second wife is an actress in the American drama Westworld. Dahlia's origins. The two married, divorced, remarried, and divorced. They didn't have children. After 2 marriages, Musk and Canada's avant-garde musical personality, Richest socializes, gave birth to 3 children. One is called X. One is called Y. There is also a one called Tau. As a concern for the theory of population collapse, Musk actively practices the idea of having more children. He also has 3 other children. Is with its own neuro. Inc. was born to Clydes, an executive of Inc. The two are not said to be substantially related. Musk simply provided his own sperm. And here's an interesting fact. You may not know. Musk actually has a Chinese name. It's called Ichiro Ma. This is when Musk registered the company in Taiwan. The Chinese name used. But netizens don't seem to be used to this Chinese name. What do you think? Looking back on Musk's growth and entrepreneurial biography, odd will be found. He is a very multifaceted person. He is both an angel and a devil. Both a genius and a madman. Both a grim realist. Also romantic dreamers. Both a rebel and a trailblazer. He is such a complex and contradictory being. As he once said, to all those who have been offended by me, I just want to say to you that I reinvented the electric car. I'm going to send humans to Mars with rockets and spaceships. But I want to be a calm and easygoing ordinary person. Do you think I can do that?